For round 8 of Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS, we are in northern Japan. We are in the mountains around Sportland Sugo. It is Japan's largest motorsport facility, and it's a circuit that has certainly proved popular already with the drivers. We had a really good race yesterday, more of the same coming up as the cars make their way round onto the grid, ready for 1 hour of racing with, of course, the mandatory pit stops and the carryover of success penalties from yesterday. The top 3 carry extra time on the mandatory pit stops, which will count between 25 and 35 minutes of the race. David Addison trackside, Amy Izawa is down on the grid, and the cars leaving the pit lane in much warmer conditions today than we had yesterday. We had a little bit of rain pre-race, and it was a damp but drying circuit that we had yesterday. Today, track temperature is 45.5 degrees and climbing. It's pretty humid. There's a little bit of a breeze as well, and the fans making their way trackside in readiness for the feature race of the day. Well, it looks pretty good out there. Let's find out whether it is as nice as it looks, because out in the fresh air is Amy Izawa.
Thanks, David. Shakunetsu no Sugo e yokoso. Welcome to Sugo. Somehow after yesterday's race, I thought summer was over, but no, it's back. The sun is burning on my skin. It's super hot, but we have some nice breeze, a good wind against the track, and also we have some cotton candy clouds, so there is some cloudy skies up there. However, it's so hot. However, we had some rain over the night, so probably that's washed out the rubber from yesterday, so it's a complete new track, and we will see what Mamono has to play with us. Back to you.
Amy, thanks. A word about Mamono. If you're wondering which car he drives, Mamono is the devil. He lives in the Sugo woods, so the legend tells you. And he may well make an appearance. Yesterday, the one car that seemed to be devilled with problems was the 888 Mercedes, which was involved in a first corner incident and ended up a lap later off the road because the car either had a suspension damage or a puncture or a combination of both. It just wouldn't turn, and so it pitched Abu Ibrahim off into the gravel trap. Now, Naoki Yokomitsu was a race winner yesterday with help from co-driver Kyoto Fujinami, and who better, therefore, than to guide us around the Sugo circuit than Naoki Yokomitsu with his driver's eye view.
My name is Naoki Yokomizo. I race for Yogibo. This is a driver's eye of Sportsland Sugo. Hi, こちら Sugo です。
So coming into the first corner from 5th gear to 2nd gear, and then we found the momentum and bring the car to the 2nd corner. The next one is a 3rd corner, which is downhill, and it's very easy to understeer. And also the track with it's narrow, so it's easy to cross out. From here, we'll enter the technical sector of the circuit. We will first have a chicane, a left and a right, and then up the hill, following with a high point corner and a rainbow corner. Both of them, it's a 90-degree right-hander. After that, we have a downhill back straight. And at the end of the straight, shifting down from 5th to 2nd, it's easy to lose traction here, so the drivers struggle a lot here as well. Passing the back straight, we come to the high-speed sector of Sugo, following with a 3rd gear, SP1 and SP2 corner. And as I mentioned before, it's tight, so it's difficult to find momentum. And the last but not least, the most famous last corner with a 10% incline. This is a corner to test out the guts of the drivers. And as you can see from this onboard, Sugo is a circuit that just won't give the driver a second to breathe. Okay.
And I can tell you that that hill coming out of the last corner is very steep indeed. And although there are welcome descents, there's quite a lot of climb around here. The other big climb is coming out of the S is up towards turn 7, that high point corner, which is above here, turns 1 and 2. So the turn 7 higher than turn 1, and you've gone up a hill already to get to that. So there's 2 big climbs and a big drop down the hill, as well as the cars, as you can see, now come to the grid. Okay, before we get involved in round 8, let's look back at what happened yesterday, because it was a lively 7th round of the championship. Tanat Satirinkul started on pole position in the Porsche, made a bad start, and it got worse when he was tagged by the McLaren at turn 1, and the 888 Mercedes of Abu Ibrahim had nowhere to go except into the side. Damage to the front right of the Mercedes. Satirinkul did get going again. That car fought back pretty well. Less fortunate was Ibrahim. He was off the road a lap later into the gravel, couldn't get out. That brought out the safety car, and everybody bunched up. Naoko Yokomitsu was the man that led the way from in second place Takeshi Kimura, but charging up through the field was a certainly angry Tanat Satirinkul. The Porsche easily made its way past the AM equivalent of Andrew McPherson, and then latched onto the back of Jeffrey Ibrahim in the number 99 888 run Mercedes. The championship leaders having missed most of Friday's running after an engine drama which resulted in an engine change. Therefore, Ibrahim was certainly lacking in track knowledge. Satirinkul breathed in, squeezed up the inside past the pits into turn 1 and made the move stick. Hiroshi Hamaguchi had suffered a bad qualifying as well, but his Lamborghini was on a charge, and on the pit stops took over the race lead as he got past David Pound's Audi. That car also having picked up damage in qualifying. The left-hand side not looking as the right-hand side did in terms of livery. Pit lane window opened, in came number 27, the Yogibo Racing race-leading Ferrari, and also Kei Cozzolino was in a lap earlier to relieve Takeshi Kimura. As he rejoined, he was ahead of Tanat Satirinkul. He was determined not to lose track position to the Porsche, and the Porsche determined not to be delayed by the Ferrari. It was essential for both to get ahead of the other, and in the end, it looked as though Cozzolino was going to drop back, but oh no, elbows up, he came back through on the inside of SP in and went through. At the end of the lap, Satirinkul pitted, and also up into third place came Tomonobu Fuji. He managed to wriggle his way past Yorikatsu Tsuchiko in the Suzuka winning Honda NSX. With 24 minutes to go, the two race leaders were nose to tail, and the smart money said it was going to be when rather than if Cozzolino made his move for leadership, but he could not do it. It was a really good defense by Kyoto Fujinami. He hung on in there to take the race win. Other battles raged on lower down as well. Up into 7th place came Kandati Kusiri in the pole-sitting Porsche that was delayed early on. Good drive by Kusiri, as on the penultimate lap, Cozzolino had a dive up the inside but couldn't do it. And the first win of the year went to Yogibo Racing's Naoki Yokomitsu and Kyoto Fujinami, as GT4 honours went to Brian Lee and Hideto Yasuoka, their first win of the season as well. So that brings us to round 8. It brings us to the grid, and the man on pole position is Kei Cozzolino, and he is with Amy.
I'm here with the pole sitter, car number 777, Car Guy Racing, Kei Cozzolino. Kei, congratulations on your pole. You quite had a race yesterday. I hope you got some rest over the night. What is your strategy today?
Well, you know, it's super difficult to overtake here. I feel like I'm on a one-lane highway, you know, like yesterday we were much faster than the leaders. I tried everything I could, couldn't overtake. Maybe I had to push him off, but then I do that, I get penalized, so I had to hold myself down. Anyways, the strategy for today is we have new tires on, so just really push, and just pray to God there won't be a safety car, because we have a 10-second stop penalty, so.
All right. And also speaking about the championship, do you have the pressure on you?
No, championship, I'm not really thinking about points, you know. Just every race, we're trying to make the best results. So, yeah, just hoping for no safety car. That's all I'm hoping for. That's it. Yeah.
All the best luck to you then. Back to you.
Amy, thanks. Just to make the point that Kei Cozzolino and Takeshi Kimura are second overall in the GT3 standings. They lead the Fanatec Japan Cup and could win that today if they are the highest scorers in the Japan Cup. They would win Japan Cup outright and Pro-Am. Overall, though, it is Jeffrey Ibrahim and Nick Foster that lead. The margin reduced after yesterday over Kei Cozzolino and Takeshi Kimura. Third, yesterday's winner, Naoki Yokomitsu. He's a bit of an outsider, but still mathematically could be champion. Kyoto Fujinami comes next, ahead of Kantati Kusiri and Tanat Satirinkul, with the absent Hiroaki Nagai and Yuta Kamimura in 6th. Also absent, the Sepang winners, Adrian De Silva and Earl Bamber. They were only really doing Adrian De Silva's home races at the start of the season. Saiji Ara and Tomohiro Yamaguchi come next. Reid Harker, along with his co-driver, which is Setiwan Santoso, rounding out that leaderboard. They retired yesterday after damage. So, Tomonobu Fuji is a man that needs to get ahead of 777 here to keep his Japan Cup hopes alive. Can he do it? Well, let's find out. He's with Amy.
Back Back to the grid with car number 47, D Station Racing, the only Aston Martin on the track. 藤井選手、ジャパンカップに望みをつなぐためには、日本語で英語でもどっちでもつなぐにはポイントといいますか、K の前で今日はチェッカーを受けなきゃいけない状況となっております。プレッシャーかかってますか？
Yeah, as for the championship, the Kagai Ferrari is quite far from us, but we got the first podium yesterday, and also a good point was the race pace. So, yeah, we can have good race today, and also we can still fighting for the championship.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and all the best luck to you. Back to you, David.
Amy, thanks. The Aston Martin had its first podium of the year yesterday, showed really good pace. It seems to be an Aston circuit, this, so it's good to see that car going so well yesterday. Right then, we are looking forward to our second 1 hour race of the weekend. Grid is formed, it is based on the times that were set in the second qualifying period, rather, of course, than a race result. This is the circuit. You've got that long, fast pit straight down towards the double apex right, turns 1 and 2. Then you wind your way downhill, turn 3, turn 4 at the bottom, just before the end of the first sector is the hairpin shaped corner, as it's called. Then the S's up towards High Point, turn 7, Rainbow corner is 8, and then the back straight down towards the little kink at backstretch corner, and horseback corner is the second gear 90-degree right that takes you to the double apex quick left of SP1 or SP in and SP out, SP2 if you prefer. That gets you to the end of the second sector, and then keep going downhill. You get to the very, very bottom mid corner, and then you climb and climb and climb. It's uphill, it's slightly banked, and the last corner brings you onto the pit straight. So you've got to get a really good run through the double apex left, because the momentum there gives you the run into the last corner, and you need a good run out of that, because then you've got the straight down towards turn 1. We've got one race here, of course, we're looking forward to starting very shortly, and then 2 more races at the Okayama International Circuit at the end of September. The proposed races in Mandalika not happening, so we are a 5-event, 10-round championship rather than 6 and 12, and it means that just 2 more races remain after flagfall this afternoon. So the sun is shining, temperatures going up, and this is the way that some of the teams were expecting the weather to be. Hot and sunny, 47.3 degrees the track temperature. The Pirelli technicians will be keeping an eye on the state of the tyres. Yesterday in the pit window we did have people changing rubber. The grid is busy, as you can see, and the tyre trolleys now, along with mechanics, making their way and the VIPs back into the pit lane, and it's now up to the drivers to keep out of trouble over the first couple of laps and to try and establish as good a race pace as they can in stint 1, because in the majority of cases here you've got the quicker driver going first. Sugo circuit, which is playing host to an international championship for the first time in about 20 years. The last one here was actually on 2 wheels anyway, the FIM World Superbike Championship. So in car racing terms, the Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS, making history this weekend. The bright yellow car guy racing Ferrari then starting on pole position. Alongside you see Saiji Ara in the BMW. That car finished 4th in yesterday's race, therefore goes into today without the Damocletian success penalties. There, the race director, Ravin, ready to send the cars away and then dash back to race control to oversee what are always going to be some frantic first laps. He's aided this weekend by Peter Daly, the British GT race director. Peter going back to racing in a GT car next week at Silverstone, the Gt4 race at the Silverstone Classic. The 1 minute board is being shown, the grid is cleared, the engines fire up, and it's a rolling start, of course, so the pace car, as it will be, the safety car, the Toyota GR Supra, will blast away. We've got GT4 and GT3 to look forward to in this race. In GT4, the AM contest can be won if number 71 Toyota of Masayoshi Yoyama wins the class, but also if the Comet Racing Mercedes of Kazuhiro Sakai and Masaki Fuji does not finish. The Toyota is there on the back row with the Mercedes alongside. It's unlikely that it's going to win the class. It's unlikely as well that the Mercedes is not going to finish because it's been reliable, but the Toyota other Mercedes in that class. So GT4 with the 2 cars that have had a win this year on the front row of the GT4 battle. Green flag is waved then, so the cars now accelerate away down towards turns 1 and 2. And there in the start gantry, the race director ready with the lights to flick from red to green at the end of the formation lap to get the race underway. So the field 20 strong, turning its way into turns 1 and 2. This was the scene of the drama yesterday. Tanat Satrin-Tirankul did say to Amy that it was largely his fault because he completely missed the start, and then it ended up with cars trying to be 4 abreast into turn 1. Kei Cozzolino starts on pole position with Saiji Ara lining up alongside him. On the second row of the grid, it is Reid Harker, after damage yesterday, the Porsche, but quick all weekend, and Tomonobu Fuji in the D station at Aston Martin alongside. The third row, Nick Foster, with work to do here to gain points in the championship. Teammate Jasmine Jafar lines up alongside. On the next row of the grid, it is Kyoto Fujinami and Kantati Kusiri in the car that started yesterday's race on pole position. Next on the grid, it will be Kaita Sawa with the ABSA Motorsport McLaren and Yudai Uchida in the Team Uematsu McLaren alongside him to round out the top 10 on the grid. 11th is Shigeketsu Wakisaka in the LM Corsa Ferrari, and then you get to Akihiro Suzuki, new this weekend out of Super GT with the Audi team, Hitotsuyama entry, and the AMS. He and his co-driver learning about the championship with a view to coming back next year. Ben Porter starts the AMAC Andrew McPherson Motorsport Porsche with Yorikatsu Tsujiko in the Suzuka winning Comet Racing Honda NSX Evo for company. 15th, Sean Tong, who missed the qualifying session after David Punk put the car off the road, and Mineki Okura, who also missed qualifying after Hiroshi Hamaguchi suffered damage in Q1. 17th, the Gt4 Battle now with yesterday's winners Hideto Yasuoka with Brian Lee on pole, Shinya Hosokawa lining up alongside. And then the back row of the grid is where you find Masayuki Ueda in the Akiland Racing Toyota Supra and Kazuhiro Sakai in Comet Racing's Mercedes lining up alongside. So that is the grid then as we get set for the start of the race. Cars making their way up now into the run to the pit straight, out of that last corner, up towards the timing line. The cars get themselves into that 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. The pace car, as it is, dives into the pit lane. It's going to be up to Kei Cozzolino to control the pace from here on in, and he's going to have to push to pull out a 10-second advantage, ready for the pit window. Behind him is the very rapid Reid Harker. Alongside him is Saiji Ara. The lights change. We go racing, and a really good getaway lower down the grid there from the Porsche of Ben Porter that comes steaming up the inside as they dive into turn 1. And it is going to be Cozzolino that leads us out wide. Goes Saiji Ara, bounces over the curb, loses track position because up and past him, look, has gone Reid Harker into second place. Saiji Ara is third as they drop downhill and being run out wide there. Nick Foster in the blue Mercedes. Where does he wriggle back into the pack? He's fifth-ish on the outside there of Tomonobu Fuji, and he's now down to sixth because up the inside line goes Kyoto Fujinami, yesterday's winner, gets up past the Mercedes. Now that's good as far as Yukimitsu, his co-driver's hopes in the championship are concerned. So a very lively first few corners into turn 8, they turn, and look, Kei Cozzolino is nearly on lap 2. He's disappeared up the road already, weaving left and right to get the Pirelli rubber up to temperature. Get the pressures up as well. Reid Harker doing the same thing. He's got Saiji Ara in the BMW looking for a way by. Almost trying his luck back going into the kink at the end of the back straight. Through now the right-hander in second gear of horseback corner. They go up through the gears into this very quick left-hand sequence of SP1, SP2, SP in, SP out, at the end of which Kei Cozzolino leads the way. Right, place your bets for the gap at the end of lap 1. Can he get this up to about 2.5 seconds even after one lap? Because he's absolutely stormed away on cold tyres. Very impressive opening lap. As now for second place, the BMW of Saiji Ara gets up the inside of Reid Harker as they come over the brow. Absolutely side by side they were, but the BMW gets the grunt and goes ahead. So Cozzolino leads at the end of lap 1. Saiji Ara is second as they come over the timing line. Down now into turn 1 with Reid Harker under attack from Tomonobu Fuji as they swing their way downhill for the first time. And Kei Cozzolino, well, I was wrong about 2.5 seconds. He was 3 seconds ahead at the end of the first lap. In second place, this is the battle pack. Saiji Ara just ahead of Reid Harker, just ahead of Tomonobu Fuji in the green Aston, just ahead then of the winning car of yesterday, Kyoto Fujinami at the wheel of it. Nick Foster is 6th, 7th is Jasmine Jafar for 888. In 8th place, it is Kantati Kusiri, 9th is Kaita Sawa, and 10th is the number 2 McLaren, being hustled along by Yudai Uchida as the cars come down the back stretch. Well, Cozzolino aiming for 10 seconds plus. And barring any safety cars, which is his big fear, like they had, for example, at Suzuka in race 2, he's going to be able to get that job done, isn't he? If he can pull out 3 seconds a lap, the others are going to have to work very, very, very hard indeed. Right now, Nick Foster there, a little bit stuck behind. You can see Fujinami, Kyoto Fujinami yesterday soaked up all of the pressure from Kate Cozzolino, did not crack, did not put a wheel wrong. Nick Foster will be hoping that he does crack today, because that's going to help him get through. Out of the last corner they come. Climb, climb, climb up the hill, over the brow, and then down towards turn 1. Cozzolino breaks the beam, 2 laps in the book, and that's the fastest of them as he comes through. 4 seconds is now the margin. Second place, you can see Saeiji Ara, then Reid Harker going through, and actually Saeiji Ara, having got his tyres up to temperature, is getting away now from Reid Harker, having fought his way back through into second place after a scrappy first couple of corners. Saeiji Ara getting on with the job. Yesterday, slightly cooler conditions helped the fastest lap of a 1:20.7 from Ken Cozzolino. Let's see what we can do here, though, as the fuel load comes down during this stint. Third, Harker. Fourth, Fuji. Fifth and 6th together. Look there, you've got Kyoto Fujinami, Nick Foster tucked up behind him. And then Jasmine Jaffar, who drives with the second of the Malaysian princes. It's Jeffrey Ibrahim with Nick Foster. It's Ahmed Ibrahim with Jasmine Jaffar, the Malaysian driver. And down they come now towards the King, down towards Horseback Corner. And as they turn their way once again into the right-hander, then the 2 Mercedes breathing down the neck of the Ferrari, but a little bit out wide there goes Jaffar. Behind him is Kandati Kusiri in the portion that he will give over to Tanat Satra and Tirankul on the pit stops. So right now you can see that Fujinami is dropping away from Tomonobu Fuji in the D station Aston, largely because he's having to go defensive. This is bad news though for Fuji as far as the Fanatec Japan Cup is concerned, because he needs to be ahead of that car guy Ferrari, and the Aston Martin will have to serve 5 seconds of success penalty in the pit stops. There is Fuji over the line, closing on Harker, and Nick Foster having his first warning about track limit offences as Sean Tong in the Audi, number 91 on the inside there, gets up the inside for 10th place at the expense of Uchida in the McLaren, diving into turn 1. So Sean Tong goes through. See, that car is looking as it should do today. The left and the right-hand sides are both in the same colour scheme. In GT4, Hideto Yasuaka is the leader, and it is Shinya Hosokawa in second place. Both of them having raced years ago, like over a decade ago, in single-seaters in the UK. Yasuoka in Formula Ford, and Hosokawa in Formula 3, who drove for Carlin for a season. But those 2 Mercedes absolutely tied together. Now, number 14, the leading Mercedes, serves 15 seconds in the pits, 10 to the one behind. So even if Shinya Hosokawa can't get through on the track, he should be able to jump ahead on the pit stops. GT4, the lower cost way of coming into GT racing. The car's less powerful, less modified, perhaps easier for the AMs to get used to. It's a really good way of coming into GT racing and learning, and it's given us some really good racing this year. More to look forward to next season, when the championship is up and running for a whole new season of new teams and drivers come on board. Kate Cozzolino goes through with 4 laps done, and another new fastest lap of the race, 1:21.9 now. In second place, Saeiji Ara, 5 seconds back. Now remember, this car will have to stop for an extra 10 seconds over the BMW. So right now it is advantage Ara, because that car would come out ahead. However, we've only had 6 minutes of the race, so Kate Cozzolino has got plenty of time in which he can continue to build the advantage over that car. The new for 2022 BMW M4 GT3 out in the S's. Saeiji Ara makes the climb once again up the hill into High Point Corner. It is a steep climb, that is deceptively steep, and then you drop down here into turn 8, which is Rainbow Corner, and then the road continues to drop through the woods. Then looking out for Mamoto the Devil, who lurks here, and you can see in third place, number 8, Reid Harker. Now that was the Porsche that was fastest in the Friday afternoon practice session, the EBM Giga Racing car, EBM Alabama Motorsport, and Reid Harker has been looking rapid all weekend. Picked up some damage yesterday, sadly, which is why the car had to retire. But Reid Harker, one to watch here, but for the moment he's a bit busy having to defend from Fuji rather than going after Saeiji Ara ahead of him. Very successful in Carlton was Reid Harker before he came into car racing in the New Zealand Formula First, in Formula 5000. He's been successful in Toyota GT86s, in Carrera Cup Asia, and also in the Toyota Racing Series, plus being a pretty handy esports competitor too. So Reid Harker, with a number of strings to his bow, goes through third. There in fifth is Kyoto Fujinami, who is dropping that most discernibly. which is not great news given that they've got 15 seconds to serve in the pits. But Nick Foster has yet to find a way past him. Sean Tong up into 9th at the expense of Kaita Sawa. So Sean Tong making good progress here, because having missed qualifying, that car had to start 15th, and he's now up into the top 9. There you can see Fujinami and Foster climb up towards the S's, now towards turn 7. Out of High Point corner, turn right, use the curb on the exit. But you see, the good old phrase, old school circuit, certainly applies to Sugo. Runoff areas aren't that expansive. There's a bit of grass and a rather unforgiving guardrail. Tempting fate in saying this, I know, but apart from one car in the gravel bed yesterday, we did pretty well getting away without dramas, because it is a narrow circuit, it is a challenge, and if you make a mistake, the circuit can bite. Right now, Fujinami under attack from Foster, who in turn is under attack from Jafar. Now, Jasmine Jafar and Abu Ibrahim can't really feature in terms of the championship. They've no major need to score extra points, but what they would like are good race results, and in doing so would take points away from Jeffrey Ibrahim and Nick Foster's car just up the road. So now we'll see whether Triple H are prepared to let them fight, or whether Jasmine Jafar is going to have to play rear gunner here to help 99, there it is, score points to try to consolidate the advantage in the championship. But the car that it's up against, the treble 7 Ferrari, leads the way. 99 is 6th, and the margin between them is 13 seconds right now. Downhill they wriggle into turn 3. This is where Nick Foster was being given track limit warnings earlier. Jasmine Jafar is now being given track limit warnings at turn 8, coming onto that back stretch. So both the Mercedes drivers at Triple Eight having their driving looked at by race control, and race director Ravin wagging his finger metaphorically and saying, stay within the white lines. So there is Jasmine Jafar, not using as much curb on the exit of 7 as did his teammate ahead of him. That's turn 8, and he's a little bit more control this time as the cars accelerate down the back stretch, as Tomonobu Fuji comes up to have a go at Reid Harker for 3rd place now. Porsche versus Aston Martin. So Reid Harker just being able to hang on to the place here in number 8. Reid Harker, the Kiwi, keeps Japanese driver Tomonobu Fuji at bay, stretches it by a length coming out of SP2, SP out, and now towards the last corner. Swoop through that right-hander. This is all about momentum. Got to be smooth, you've got to be quick, not scrum off any speed because of this long, long climb. Up the hill, up the hill, up the hill, up the hill, over the brow. Even the car catches its breath at that point, sigh of relief from the engine, and then down to turn 1. You see the gravel track there goes uphill, so if you do go off very high speed, the raised gravel bed stops you. But nobody has yet really explored that during race conditions, thankfully. So there for 3rd and 4th places they go through. That is the leader, Ken Cozzolino. Last time around he was 7.9 seconds to the good. It was a great getaway by Cozzolino, and Kay, with the fastest lap of the race to his credit, is looking rather dominant, as now he comes up to think about traffic. He has got Kazuhiro Sakai's Gt4 Mercedes just up the road ahead, ready to be negotiated. Replaying the start, this will show you just how good a getaway Cozzolino made. Got the jump on Saiji Ara. Now, Ara versus Harker, have a look. They dive into turn 1, and Saiji Ara runs out wide, scrabbles up over the curb, and that delayed everybody around him and gave Cozzolino an even better chance. But look, Cozzolino was already 2-3 lengths to the good as they came up to the line. Saiji Ara, to an extent, perhaps caught napping a little bit. Then he runs wide at turn 1. That gave Reid Harker the chance to come up the inside of him. And Cozzolino just away and gone. There he is. Wait and wait and wait and wait. Saiji Ara should arrive. That car's a lap down. There's the BMW, and as the BM breaks the timing beam, 8 seconds is the margin. Puts a lap on the Mercedes, which is in strife and goes straight on. So drama for Kazuhiro Sakai. Now, did he make the corner? Can't see him in the background as yet. So number 4 Mercedes possibly off the road. There is Saiji Ara then in 2nd place, fighting the BMW. But dramas for Sakai going up towards turn 1. The Comet Racing Mercedes, still can't see in the background, so I fear he might have gone up the escape road. So there is Ara, away and gone. Reid Harker is in 3rd, in 4th place, Tomonobu Fuji behind him. A little bit of debris on the road there. Look as the cars come through turn 8. And there is the Mercedes. It has got back and going, but has it got a puncture? Look at the right front as he turns into turn 7. Yes, he has got a puncture. That's why there was smoke. So Sakai's got a flat, and he's going to do a full lap on it as well. So the number 4 Mercedes limps on, but this is drama as far as GT4 is concerned, because that car has got to finish to prevent the Toyota Supra driver, Masayoshi Oyama, having a chance of winning the Japan Cup. You take number 14 out of the Japan Cup because Brian Lee is from Chinese Taipei, therefore there is the car, he's not eligible. So that would put Oyama second behind there, the number 33 Mercedes within the Japan Cup. And if anything happened to 33 and gave 71 the win, and the Mercedes of Sakai doesn't finish because it's got this puncture, then the Supra drivers could be GT4 winners within Fanatec Japan Cup. All lots of ifs and imponderables, but that's the situation where to pan out that way. So right now, Shinya Hosokawa dropping back a little bit, look, from Hideto Yasuoka as they come into that back stretch. Making the run now, once again, down towards a little kink at Rainbow Corner, and then into horseback as you see the car that could win the AM contest this weekend, number 51 Porsche. This is Ben Porter at the wheel of Andrew McPherson's car. They've got to win the AM class in the race to win the championship, and right now they are second behind the number 2 McLaren of Tadao Uematsu, but in the car at the moment is Yudai Uchida. So Ben Porter carries on, but Andrew McPherson not as quick as Ben. He's quick, but not as quick. So we'll see what happens on the second stint as into the pit lane, he's dragged it back, well done to him, comes Kazuhiro Sakai in the Comet Racing Mercedes AMG GT4 then. So Comet Racing team always label the parts on the car. Front fender, rear fender, side skirt, door, you'll see, yes, just above the handle. And so now the team will go to work to continue Pirelli on. The interest in that, I suspect, certainly to Pirelli, is why the tyre has failed. Is that something in the tyre, or is it because he's run over something or cut a curb? And they will address that, and they'll be able to offer information to the other teams to try to keep them safe. Ken Cozzolino leading by 8.8 seconds now. Over the timing line, Jasmine Jafar, look, has now got up past Nick Foster. So Nick unable to find a way past Fujinami. The Mercedes have switched order, and now Jasmine Jafar being allowed to have a go at the Ferrari just up the road ahead. So interesting that Triple Eight early in the race have elected to make that switch, but Nick Foster, not only has he lost the place, he's lost a length or two. So is he struggling? Is that why Triple Eight have decided to reverse the positions? There for third place is Reid Harker. Tomonobu Fuji is behind him. The Aston Martin has tried most things to find a way past, but to no avail. So down that back stretch they come. Ken Cozzolino still way out in front. And there is Reid Harker as he turns now into the second gear, horseback corner, turns right. The margin that he is behind Saijiara at 2.9 seconds, and it came down a little bit last time. There goes the BMW, there's the Porsche behind, and the way that these two are going, Reid Harker might be able to bring that gap down a little further before the pit window. Now their number 4 is in the pits, and they've changed 2 tyres, we understand, the 2 fronts. So that's the one that had punctured has been replaced, but they've matched them as well. So the pit stop is being completed. Is there a problem in the cockpit as well? Mechanics still leaning in, sorting something out there. Cozzolino in traffic now, the race leader. This will affect the lap times. And drama there, look, we've got a stationary McLaren. That looks like Kaito Sawa, number 16, who has come to grief coming out of the S's. Looks as though he's had to do a Control-Alt-Delete, system reset, and gets going now. Hopefully the car can pick up pace, but Kaito Sawa for ABSA Motorsport loses loads of places. The question is why the car stops, and it's clearly not happy because it won't pick up pace. It's still limping. So this, if it can get to the pit lane, is where it's heading for, and it could be a long stop. So drama for Kaito Sawa. There's the GT4 battle. It's still Hideto Yasuoka keeping Shinya Hosokawa at bay, and Ken Cozzolino just out front, storming away, scything his way through the traffic, building the gap over Saijiara. And the dramas, of course, for the McLaren you've just been looking at, Kaito Sawa shuffling the order behind. So there over the timing line goes Cozzolino. Now bear in mind that if you're the quicker of the 2 drivers, you'll be kept in the car for as long as possible. So Cozzolino already over 8 seconds to the good, has got time yet in which he can continue to build that gap. Comes downhill into turn 4 now. This is where the road starts to rise once more. And you climb and climb through the S's, trying to avoid the curve. There's the big sausage curve there to prevent people corner cutting And then as you get to High Point corner, look left, look across, look down on turn 1, you turn right. And the advantage that Cozzolino has now got is 10.021 seconds. He's now far enough ahead to keep the lead on the pit stops. Look back, you'll see Fujinami under attack from Jasmine Jafar. That's for third. Reid Harker still under attack from Tomonobu Fuji, and the gap second to third last time went up. Here's the fight for 5th, 6th, 7th, the battle pack of 2 Mercedes and a Ferrari. Kyoto Fujinami at the head of the queue, Jasmine Jafar, the Malaysian, behind, flashing his lights, and then you've got Nick Foster next up in number 99, Mercedes, now running in 7th place. That car that has taken 2 race wins this year, the 888 entry, has been the unlucky one. It was unlucky yesterday with damage. That hasn't had a victory, but Jasmine Jafar, as ever, throwing everything at this as he gets onto the back of the winning car of yesterday, Kyoto Fujinami's Ferrari, the Yogibo racing car. Yogibo coming into the championship with the team and also as partners this year. And Yogibo present beanbags to the race winners. I can't think of another championship where you get a beanbag for winning along with the trophy. But then yesterday you saw the winners collapse into their beanbags on the podium. And it's good to have Yogibo's involvement in the championship this year. So Fujinami breaks the beam, 4 tenths ahead of Jasmine Jafar as they go now in towards turns 1 and 2. Turn right again, downhill they plunge. Cars wriggle their way downhill. We're currently working lap number 14. Yesterday we had an early safety car period, but we did get 39 laps in. We're going to get more today without any interruptions as Jafar gets his nose up the inside of the Ferrari coming out of turn 4, but not enough of an opportunity there to go through. Foster up the curb in the background. So Jasmine Jafar has served intent, hasn't he, there, by trying to make a move against Kyoto Fujinami. Tightens his line at 8. Clips the dirt on the inside line. Back markers ahead now for Fujinami to worry about. Flashes the lights to the Gt4 traffic. This is the lead battle in Gt4 as well. Shinya Hosokawa is almost negotiated. He's got to get into the corner somewhere and does turn in. He gave room to Fujinami. Jafar has to switch sides as well. Dive bombs the Gt4 Mercedes AMG on the inside line. Traffic everywhere though now. And Fujinami trying to defend. He's trying to get past the slower cars. It's all happening for him. And Jafar just sitting there riding shotgun, following the Ferrari through. He's hung out to dry on the outside though there of Hideto Yasuaka's Mercedes coming out on the last corner. Goes through now. So Yasuoka drops back and very nearly drops back behind Hosokawa, who arrives on the scene. So the Gt4 battle comes alive and Fujinami manages to hang on to the place after a very leery lap with Jasmine Jafar right behind him. Nick Foster has dropped away though, and Kantati Kusiri in the Porsche, number 18, is getting closer to him as well. 20 minutes of the race have elapsed. That means that 5 more to go before the pit window opens, and again down through turns 3 and 4 Jasmine Jafar is very rapid indeed. He's at the curb as he tries to find a way past Fujinami. Still can't do it. Tightens his line at turn 8 up the curb now. So downhill they come. That Mercedes looking the quicker, but remember what Kate Cozzolino said to Amy on the grid about it being like a one-lane highway. It is hard to overtake, and despite the fact that Jafar looks the quicker, Fujinami is doing a good defensive job. That car, though, will have to serve 15 seconds extra in the pit lane, so the Yogibo Racing Ferrari will drop down, no question about it. Sweep now through SP in, SP out, down towards last corner. Jafar cheeking left and right all the while, trying to distract Kyoto Fujinami. Can't really say looking at his mirrors these days, because the majority of GT3 cars, yes, while they do have mirrors inside, the majority also have those rear camera TV screens, so the driver looks at a screen rather than looks up at the mirror. Over the line goes Fujinami. So 5th, 6th, 7th with Nick Foster coming back at them, shaking off Kusiri and Thong in so doing. Kate Cozzolino now is, get this, 15 seconds ahead. So as you look at Saijiara, the man in 2nd place, Reid Harker much, much closer to him now. That gap has been a bit elasticated, but it's come down to less than a second now. It's 8 tenths between Ara in the BMW and then Reid Harker for Alabama Motorsport next up with Tomonobu Fuji going with them. So this is 2nd, 3rd and 4th as they come downhill. So you've got Ferrari from BMW, from Porsche, from Aston Martin. That's the leading 4, which illustrates the success of GT3 as a concept and the different brands that we have on this Fanatec GT grid. Fuji closer to Harker. This is the apex though, into horseback corner and goes out wide. And that now allows Reid Harker another chance to push and to try to bring down that gap against Ara in the BMW. Through they turn yet again. This, lap 16. Cosolino's already on lap 17, incidentally, such is his pace. Now, what about Fujinami relative to those ahead of him? He is lapping a little slower, so he's not yet making inroads, but fending off the Mercedes in the process. Over the timing line goes Tomonobu Fuji, has a look to the inside line, tries to get up alongside Reid Harker. There is Fujinami with Gt4 and Foster behind him. Canadico Series Porsche comes next. And then Sean Tong, Hong Kong driver, running in ninth place. A rather distant 10th, though, is the AM leading McLaren of Yudai Uchida. So where in all of this has Ben Porter gone to? He is over the line now, but is still second in class, 12th overall. In GT4, you're looking there at the new leader. So Shinya Hosokawa did get through while we were looking at the battles between GT3 cars trying to get through the traffic. Hosokawa took full advantage of that and jumped ahead of Hideto Yasuoka. So this is the new GT4 leader, Shinya Hosokawa, up front. And not only that, but you can see that he's managed to escape from Yasuoka, who's a little bit stuck in the traffic behind him. And also Yasuoka is being warned about track limits at turn 3. Ben Porter on the lights to say to Shinya Hosokawa, get out of the way, I'm coming through. In GT4, it's Mercedes, Toyota, the top 3. And there Porter lines up to have a go, but Hosokawa says, well, look, I'm trying to drive my race. I've got to turn in and get the apex. If you're not there, hard luck. And so now Porter is under attack, look, from Suzuki behind him, not only for position overall, but also for second in the AMS. Akihiro Suzuki, he knows the circuit pretty well, but he's now caught up to Ben Porter, who is still not being able to get past Hosokawa. Now he commits to the inside line at last corner and will go past the GT4 Mercedes, but you can see how much the gap has come down between Porter in the Porsche and there Akihiro Suzuki in the Audi, making his and co-drivers Toshihiro Ogura's debut weekend in Fanatec GT. They're regulars in Super GT, but coming to this championship for the first time and having had a good weekend thus far. Kei Cozzolino is very nearly into the first Okayama race. So far ahead is he. He now leads by 16.5 seconds. And a second track limit warning coming for Hideto Yasuoka now. So number 14 Mercedes, you're going to have to be careful about this as Cozzolino comes into the last corner. The pit window will be open in just over 14 seconds time as he comes up the hill. He's got no intention of stopping early. He will want to be in that car for as long as possible to give Takeshi Kimura the best possible chance. This is exactly what Cozzolino needed. A good, fast stint. Nobody to battle against and delay. Nobody as yet we are aware of looking as though they're going to necessitate a safety car period. Into the pits, though, comes Fujinami. So as the window is open, he comes in very early, surprisingly early, I would have thought that. Gets him out of the battle. It also puts into the car Naoki Yokomitsu now. So down the pit road comes Yuto Fujinami. It is a bit of a mystery as to why he's not been able to get further up the order. I know he didn't qualify brilliantly, but he struggled a bit, given that he won yesterday. Into the car gets Naoki Yokomitsu. So Yokomitsu into this effectively AM stint. So that car you can see on the timing tower drops down the order. New tyres prepared for the Yogibo Racing Ferrari, as here you've got the Car Guy Racing entry absolutely out on its own. Kei Cozzolino has driven perhaps the ultimate stint here, and he's way out in front as he comes into last corner, heads up the hill. Another lap about to be completed. This will be 19. Stays out after almost an easy Sunday afternoon drive, this, because as he comes across the timing line now, nobody around him. He's hardly had to battle against anybody after an absolutely outstanding first lap. Out of turn 2 comes the Ferrari. Down the hill, Cozzolino lines it up for turn 3 here. Gets the curb, gets the apex, drifts it to the outside curb. Down a gear, turn left again, through turn 4 now. Then the road climbs up through the S's. Now bear in mind that the Naoki Yokomitsu Ferrari that you just saw coming into the pit lane also has to serve 15 seconds in the pit road. Here we go. penalty of winning yesterday. This car will have to serve an extra 10. So Cozzolino, with his main target to pull out 10 seconds of a gap, has done so. 18 seconds he now leads by. As there, back into the race goes Yokomitsu. So Ferrari 27 down the pit road. That's going to rejoin near to Ben Porter. So that's going to put him into about 13th place, I would offer you. And as he goes through, there is the Ferrari just ahead of Porter then. And Porter in turn is busy battling, as you can see. Now into the pits comes the Toyota Supra. That is now the car of Masayuki Ueda, but it is about to be driven by Masayoshi Oyama. Cozzolino does another lap. And a drive-through penalty for yesterday's GT4 winners. Hideto Yasuoka, for track limit offences here at turn 3, is being given a drive-through penalty. So that is very good news as far as the opposition is concerned. Very bad news as far as Brian Lee is concerned, because he will take over that car and also have to sort out the penalty. So there Cozzolino turns his way up towards turn 7. Still looking strong up front with Saiji Ara very nearly 20 seconds adrift. As down the pit road here comes Kantani Kosiri to give way to Tanat Satrin-Tirankul, who was on pole position for yesterday's race in the other Earl Bamber Motorsport run, AAS Motorsport Porsche. There is the Thai driver who leaps around the car. Tanat Satrin-Tirankul hops in. And as he does so, new set of Pirellis being prepared, so left-hand side of the car being attended to, as there is second, third and fourth. Saiji Ara ahead at the moment of Reid Harker. There behind is Tomonobu Fuji. That's been the battle of the race, really, as you see the GT4 leading cars, plural, coming in. Shinya Hosokawa and Hideto Yasuoka, but Yasuoka needs to serve that car needs to serve the drive-through penalty for track limit offences. Brian Lee will take it over, and he's going to therefore be the driver that needs to serve the penalty. So Tanat Satrin-Tirankul ready to go. And there is Yasuoka. So that wasn't his regulation stop, that was the drive-through. So he's done that and presses on. So that means he's got another lap or 2 or 3 even in the car to try to recover some of that lost ground. So Yasuoka serves the penalty, not Brian Lee after all. Brian Lee yet to get into the car. There 888 comes in for Jasmine Jaffar to give way to Abu Ibrahim. See the difference between the GT3 and GT4 Mercedes AMGs. The bigger looking GT3 car, the big rear wing on the back of it, the flared wheel arches. It's just a bigger, more menacing beast. New tyres being prepared for 888, as you can see. So the mechanics doing the pit stop as treble 7 comes towards us. Kei Cozzolino at the wheel. And is this going to be the end of his stint? I suspect he's got time to do another couple of laps yet if they're going to really maximise Kei Cozzolino here, and that's exactly what the Car Guy Racing team elects to do. Over the timing line he comes once again. Down towards turn 1. Cozzolino, who we did see racing in Europe a few years ago in Lamborghini Super Trofeo, but is a very, very accomplished driver. Perhaps doesn't really get the credit he deserves, but is somebody that you barely ever see making a mistake, and he's very, very quick, and he's a good capture out of the car as well. Now there is Naoki Yokomitsu, so after his pit stop he's in 13th place, but he'll get some of that time back, as down the pit road now comes Yasuoka, this time to give way to Brian Lee. And now Saiji Ara has dropped back into 4th place. So Reid Harker, as we get towards the end of the first stint, has gone through. So finally, looked like it might have been a mistake from Ara. He's run out wide, and it means that Reid Harker is 2nd, Tomonobu Fuji is 3rd, and down to 4th, Saiji Ara in the BMW. Hideto Yasuoka happens to strap in Brian Lee. And here is the new 2nd place car. So it is Reid Harker. He's worked hard for that, like entire stint, and as he comes towards Horseback Corner, let's see now whether he can get away from Fuji. Well, a pair of them can get away from Ara. So Saiji Ara falls back. There's the leader. Yet another lap done by Kei Cozzolino. They're going to have to winch him out of the car at this rate. It'll take a route because he's been in it for so intentional while he's able, with the road clear, to do these quick laps. The best that he did was on lap 5, even though the car is lighter on fuel now. Tyres have just gone slightly past their optimum, but Kate Cozzolino's last lap was a 23.9, still good enough, even though that's not the fastest of them. Reid Harker, having taken second, comes into the pits, as does Tomonobu Fuji, having taken third, as does Saiji Ara, having fallen back to fourth. So down the pit road they all come. There's the BMW, finds its pits. The BMW squad is the Plus Racing team, the entrant Plus with BMW team Studi. And D Station goes to work to get Satoshi Hoshino into the car. Tomonobu Fuji gets out. Remember, they are very quick drivers both in the D Station entry, which comes in the Pro-Am class. And Reid Harker now gives way to Setaiwan Santoso. Santoso, who raced a Gt4 Mercedes AMG in this championship back in 2019. And the 52-year-old Indonesian gets on board the car as over the timing line now goes 777 Kate Cozzolino to complete lap number 24. He's going to have a massive gap when he comes in because everybody else would have stopped, and therefore the margins extend because a pit stop in GT3 is 90 seconds. And that's before you have any extra success time, and the Aston Martin, don't forget, there has an extra 5 seconds to serve. So Cozzolino's gap will be flattered because of all of that, but even so, it's been a fantastic stint. There, rejoining number 8, so Reid Harker did a good job. Santoso has got to carry on that good work now and get sideways as he leaves the pits. Not good news. The BMW goes back ahead of Aston Martin there, look, so that is Tomohiro Yamaguchi going back ahead. The BMW seems to have lost a lot of time in the pits relative to the number 8 Porsche, does it not? Which either means that the Porsche stop was very quick or the BMW stop was very slow. And the timing data will confirm which way round it was. Nick Foster brings 99 in now to give way to Jeffrey Ibrahim. And Sean Tong is in to give way to David Punn as well. So 91, the repaired Audi run by Alex Hume's team, the X-Works squad. And there is Ben Porter to morph into Andrew McPherson as the AMAC Porsche comes down the pit lane. And finally, the leader is in as well, with 20 seconds of the window to go. In comes Kate Cozzolino. Barring a disaster, the trophy's on the mantelpiece, isn't it, here? Because the stint has been just so dominant. Yes, they've got to serve an extra 10 seconds, but that had been cleared anyway. So this car should carry on in the lead of the race when it rejoins. And the order, I'll give you once everybody rejoins and the pit stops are done. That is Jeffrey Ibrahim leaving the pits in the background. So into the pits comes Cozzolino. Kimura gets on board. Tyres are changed. Pit window is now closed, but as long as you were in to start the stop, the window was closed, and that's okay. Cozzolino helps to strap in Takeshi Kimura. Belts done up, intercom plugged in, door closed. The car will drop down. They've got 90 seconds plus the extra 10 in which to do that, so there's no real hurry. Yes, you don't want to be wasting time, but they can do the pit stop properly and safely. 22 seconds, Cozzolino's advantage when he came in. So that car, as I say, should be able to hang on to the race lead. And away goes Takeshi Kimura. So we might hear from Kei Cozzolino about a quite outstanding stint. We are getting a driving standards flag being shown for number 27, which is now Naoki Yokomitsu. The Yogibo Racing Ferrari has done something between turn 8 and 9. The driving standards of Yokomitsu now attracting the attention of the race control team. So back on track goes 777 Takeshi Kimura. Now at the wheel of it. And it was a change of direction between turns 8 and 9 that is incurring the wrath of race officials, I'm told. So that car weaving effectively from side to side rather zealously, and and that's why that flag is being offered. So Takeshi Kimura, the race leader, and the slightly false margin at the moment is 2 minutes and 1 second, but of course that has pit stops all factored in, so we'll see at the end of this lap what the real margin is, and indeed the pace of cars behind. Is anybody going to be able to bring down that gap sufficiently to get close to treble 7, and indeed, even if they can, were it possible to find a way past, because drivers do tell you that it's hard to overtake around here. It's not the widest of circuits, it is a track that tests the drivers, that's for sure. So Takeshi Kimura comes through now, out of last corner, makes the climb up the hill, keeps climbing, and Kei Cozzolino watching on for the pit. A brilliant job in that first stint. He can tell Amy all about it.
All right, back in the box was 777 car guy racing, Kei Cozzolino. Oh my God, you did a perfect job. You have a lead of, what, 20 seconds plus? Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it went as it planned, really. When that McLaren stopped at the chicane, I was like, okay, not again. I was praying to God. I was like, if the safety car enters, then we are really screwed, but...
Yeah, we have another 20 minutes, so let's pray for no safety car.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully no safety car even for the second stint. But I'm sure Kimura-san will do a great job. He's on used tires from his qualifying. Maybe his pace won't be as good as mine, obviously, but let's just hope he just keeps it in track. Bring it home, yeah.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed. Back to you, David.
Amy, thanks. Kei Cozzolino, brilliant job. Yeah, a safety car in the second stint matters less because the car would at least keep track position, but it would, of course, bring cars closer to Kimura and negate some of the gap. But what Kei Cozzolino was most concerned about was a safety car eroding a gap he built and reducing the amount of opportunity to rebuild it. So Takeshi Kimura comes then now with just over 20 minutes to go, up towards the timing line. 18 seconds he was ahead of Abu Ibrahim at the end of the previous lap as he comes through now. The Ferrari doing its first proper flying lap in his hands, a 1:25.7, which is about 3.9 seconds slower than Cozzolino, and then a moment heading into turn 1. Bit of a wobble there. Now there is the fight going on for second and third places. Gt4 Ibrahim up alongside Tomohiro Yamaguchi in the BMW, then Satoshi Hoshino in fourth. The BMW goes through up into second, so Yamaguchi goes ahead of Gt4 Ibrahim. And now let's see whether Yamaguchi can do anything at all about the race leader. 19 seconds, that margin, it's gone up a bit, but that's largely because of the battle. If Yamaguchi can get, well, he can't get away because he gets sideways. Down at turn 3, door opens, Ibrahim comes back at him on the inside line. Side by side they run, elbows out, Gt4 Ibrahim goes back through. Yamaguchi run up wide onto the curb on the outside line. Hoshino is right there behind him in fourth place. So, I was about to offer you the suggestion that if Yamaguchi could get away, he might be able to get the gap down to Kimura. Then he runs wide and loses the place he'd just been able to secure. Gt4 Ibrahim gets away. That was a great big cheer from 888 in the garage at that, as Nick Foster would have been watching on, and good racecraft by Gt4 Ibrahim to get the car back up into second spot. Now Satoshi Hoshino comes along to have a go at Tomohiro Yamaguchi. So BMW versus Aston Martin, third and fourth they run. Turning through together with the BMW for the moment, just being able to fend off the Aston Martin. But again, Yamaguchi's problem here is that while he's defending the Mercedes, he's being able to get away. So second now, Gt4 Ibrahim, to the delight, no doubt, of Nick Foster. And Nick is with Amy.
All right, back in the box with car number 99, Nick Foster. P2 you are right now. What a race this time.
Yeah, tough start, got kind of shuffled out, just looked after the tyre, and when everyone made the early pit stops, team made a really good call to stay out as long as we could and sort of made up the difference, managed to jump everyone in the stops. Eamon just did a really good move to stay in P2. So yeah, the Gt3 battle real good, leading Gt3 class, GT a bit too fast this one again.
So Kay was hoping for no safety car. Are you actually hoping for a safety car?
I mean, it doesn't matter, like they're racing a different class. So yeah, our battle is pretty good between these three cars. It's been close, yeah, both races. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this one shakes out. Hopefully Eamon can hang on.
All right, let's get back to watching then. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Amy. Yep, so great fight going on here between Mercedes, BMW and Aston Martin. So Jeffrey Ibrahim in second spot, Tomohiro Yamaguchi in third, in fourth Satoshi Hoshino, and 18 seconds last time was the gap. Now, in fairness to Ibrahim, he is fractionally quicker than Kimura, except Kimura has now upped his pace. He's just gone over the timing line. So let's see, a 1:24 for Kimura-san, and the Malaysian Prince Jeffrey Ibrahim comes through now, and the Mercedes laps there at a 25.5, so the margin extends to 18.9 seconds, and Yamaguchi once again challenges on the inside into turns 1 and 2, can't find a way through there, but the BMW, very rapid indeed it has been this weekend. Started on the front row of the grid, Saijiara making a mistake on the first corner, Yamaguchi making a mistake as well at the bottom of the hill early in his stint, but he is taking the fight to Ibrahim very definitely. Looks as though this is going to be the best battle, because unless Kimura has a problem, he's away and gone. In the background, the number 21 Audi getting in strife over the curve of Motohiro Ogura. I think he started off by keeping out of everybody's way and then got himself on the wrong line and hit the curb. So Ogura is slightly delayed as there, number 33, which is now second in GT4, comes towards us. Now, things are happening in GT4 in the point that now 71 Supra leads and number 4 is still in the pit lane and therefore is out of the race. Now, that could give the Toyota the GT4 AM victory, I reckon, if number 4 doesn't finish and it wins. So there's one title that might be sewn up, and that is GT4 AM, and the other contest we're looking at is GT3 AM. But number 51, Andrew McPherson's car is now down to third in class, so he's got to win the title, win the class in the race to win the title, and I don't think that's going to be happening. 19.5 seconds, Kimura to Ibrahim as they go into turn 1. And there is that GT4 Toyota I was talking about. So here, Masayoshi Oyama slightly impeding Ibrahim as he commits to a line on the outside now. The door then opens so they can dive through on the inside. Ibrahim under attack from Tomohiro Yamaguchi. Satoshi Hoshino is there in 4th place, of course, having dropped a little bit of time in the pits. And where out of all of that is Saitiwan Santoso, who came out ahead of the Aston. Well, he's down in 5th now. 6th is David Pun. 7th is 888, Abbott Ibrahim at the wheel. 8th, number 2, the McLaren of Le Patron, the team owner, Tadao Uematsu. In 9th place, you've got Tanat Sato and Tirankul's Porsche. And 10th is Naoki Yokomitsu, yesterday's winning car. And there, with big drama, is the number 21 Audi. Now, is that damage at the back, or is that a mechanical problem? Looks damage related, doesn't it? But Motohiro Ogura limps on. I think that's bodywork pushed against the tyre, but Ogura, yeah, bits of bodywork fly, trying to get the car back to the pit lane. So there'll be some teams saying stop, and then we'll get a safety car, and others saying, for heaven's sake, keep going, and then we don't get a safety car. But Motohiro Ogura keeping out of everybody's way as he brings the Audi from Audi team Itotsuyama towards the pit lane. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, over the line. Again, Yamaguchi goes for the inside, and this time commits and goes through, but he's getting up the car slowed down. Round the outside comes Ibrahim, fights back, brilliant move, and he retakes the place. So Jeffrey Ibrahim on the outside line hangs on to 2nd position. Very brave stuff, very well executed as well. Behind him then sits Yamaguchi, then Hoshino, and everything seemingly that Tomohiro Yamaguchi tries, Jeffrey Ibrahim has an answer to, but that was really good racecraft, because on the inside line was Yamaguchi. That should have been his corner, but Ibrahim very definitely had other ideas about that. While they are squabbling, so the leader, Takeshi Kimura, is getting away with 14 minutes on the clock, but the leading battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th takes up attention once again. Hoshino waiting for his moment to be able to have a real dive at the BMW, and there with the problem is Yokomitsu. So down the pit lane he comes. This is bad news for the outside chance of winning the championship there. Yokomitsu to the pits. The Yogibo Racing Ferrari looks like it's done an engine because it's all smoky at the back. Also coming in, look, you can see Motohiro Ogura. The Ferrari into the pit lane, yesterday's winning car, and that has got damage as well with a punctured tyre. You can see the rim is damaged, so that's where the smoke was coming from. Puncture and a damaged wheel rim. Now, are those two bits of damage related? Let's have a look. So this, that was how Yokomitsu picked up damage, because he was tagged by Hiroki Hitano and then had to do a whole lap with, there you can see the wheel buckled, but therefore it was not connected to the Audi's damage either. Right, finally up into second place has gone Yamaguchi's BMW. So Tomohiro Yamaguchi has done it. He's gone through and stayed there. This time as Hoshino tries to have a go on the inside line. Not at turn 7, he won't, says Jeffrey Ibrahim. That door was closed and locked and bolted. So now Yamaguchi's BMW tries to escape, but he's got to make up 23 seconds against the leader, which ain't for happening. And Naoki Yokomitsu into the pit lane, and he is still in the pit lane. So the car with damage going no further. Hoshino challenges on the inside. He didn't look this racy against Yamaguchi, but he's very racy against Ibrahim in the Mercedes. And Hoshino in a comparable car, again, big front engine, grunt and go GT3 racer, looking for a way by, trying to force a mistake out of the Malaysian Prince. Into last corner they come, swoop through that right and start to climb now. And keep climbing past the chicane that's used for motorbike races. And this was a replay of how Yamaguchi made the move. Again, it was down towards turn 1, moved to the inside line, committed. And as the cars braked for the corner, went through. Now, a lap ago, Ibrahim was... sorry, that's not how he got the lead. That's the lap ago when he lost the place back to Ibrahim on the outside line. So that was how Ibrahim kept it. Now we need to see the replay of how he got the move. So Yamaguchi in second spot, edging away slightly. 1.2 seconds clear he was a lap ago. Big flash of the lights from Jeffrey Ibrahim, but that matters not, because I don't think Yamaguchi is for cracking. If Ibrahim needs to do anything, it's concentrate on defending from Hoshino as they come onto the back straight now. So there, second, third and fourth, the gap is going up. In fact, even though Yamaguchi has wriggled through the traffic, he is still losing ground against the flying Ferrari of Kimura. And that's proved to be a very, very quick car all season. Had that done the opening races in Sepang, it might have been a rather different story in the championship. But 2 wins, which is, sorry, a win and a second, which is seemingly what they're going to get out of the weekend, outscoring this car in both races, the number 99 Mercedes, will certainly help for the championship with the 2 Okayama races still to go. Here, up the hill comes third and fourth. Yamaguchi's BMW is escaping up the road now. It's evident as that gap stretches out. Over the timing line they rumble once again. And the incident between Uematsu, number 91 of Sean Tong, and 21 of Motohiro Ogura is under investigation. It was at turn 4, so that's where Ogura picked up his damage at this corner here. I've not seen it, but it's being investigated by race control. So starting to piece together the incident that did for the number 21 Audi. David Putt, in fact, at the wheel of 91 at the time. Right, Yamaguchi on lap 35 goes through. The overall race leader, Takeshi Kimura, away and gone. There in 8th place is Hiroshi Hamaguchi, the sole Lamborghini in the race. Hiroshi Hamaguchi has been a loyal Lamborghini racer, both in Asia and Europe over the last few seasons. And right now, Takeshi Kimura and Keiko Zolino on target to win the Fanatec Japan Cup for GT3 drivers overall, because this would be yet another victory and enough to give them the title. So they might not be able to win overall in Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, but Fanatec Japan Cup will go their way if Kimura hangs on for another 9 minutes in the lead of the race, and there is no suggestion that he's not going to, unless he throws it at the scenery. Bits of debris lie on the road, but drivers can avoid those, not required to interrupt the race. In the background you can see number 7, which is the car in the hands currently of Yusuke Yamasaki, the one at Suzuka. So downhill comes Takeshi Kimura. He has been somewhat dominant in his stint, and Keiko Zolino set him up absolutely beautifully. That is the benefit of having a very good pro in your lineup. It is also why Cozzolino did not want a safety car, because he was able to do an untroubled stint and keep pushing and keep building that gap, so that not only could they consolidate the lead, but there'd be some time in hand the other side of it. Bear in mind the gap is 22 seconds, and they had to serve an extra 10 over the BMW here in the pits anyway. That illustrates just how well both Cozzolino and Kimura have gone. Yamaguchi second, ahead of Jeffrey Ibrahim third, and then Satoshi Hoshino in fourth place in the Aston Martin. That gap is still a modest one, but Hoshino, despite his many more years of racing, can't find a way through, which again comes back to the point being made by Kei Cozzolino pre-race about how there is effectively one line, how hard it is to overtake around here. Through there goes 99, Jeffrey Ibrahim. Came into the weekend the championship leader. The gap reduced a little bit after yesterday. So it was 107 points, playing 93 coming into today's race. And again, Kimura and Cozzolino are going to outscore them. Through the traffic goes Ibrahim. And if things stay as they are, then the gap, which was 30 points going into the weekend, will be just 4 points going into Okayama. So a massive reduction of 26 points by the Car Guy Racing Ferrari drivers against number 99 Mercedes over the course of the weekend. There in second place, Tomohiro Yamaguchi. That car heading for its best result of the season. And then behind in third place, it is Jeffrey Ibrahim with, look, Hoshino fourth now, falling back, isn't he? That gap is widening between third and fourth places. They come up to have a go in the traffic at Motohiro Ogura now to get past the Audi. But with 6.5 minutes on the clock, it looks as though Hoshino has, to a degree, shot his bolt. He had a go, he couldn't make the move, couldn't make it work, and now is stuck and dropping away a little bit in turn as well. There is Kimura. Now, 6 minutes on the clock, he's just got to keep out of trouble here. The cars around him are all back markers. He's not fighting any of these. There's an incident at turn 13 under investigation as well. That, I'm suspecting, is the drama that did for Yokomitsu, who has rejoined but 4 laps down now. So they're the race leading cars. Takeshi Kimura comes out of turn 4. Behind him, it is number 14 of Brian Lee, second in GT4 Brian Lee, 14 seconds adrift of the Toyota Supra that's on target for a victory. That would be the first win for the Toyota this year in GT4, so much to cheer about, especially as I think they're going to win the AM contest as well, the AM Championship, looking at the way things will work out. If they can win GT4 in the race and number 4 doesn't score, and that's the situation, then the GT4 AM title will go the way of Masayoshi Oyama. So Oyama for the Alcalá Racing team thunders downhill. And 5 minutes on the clock. The GL Supra, of which there are quite a lot in GT4 racing around the globe now. You've got them in the British GT Championship, you've got them driving in the European and the French Championships, as well as here in Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia. So a popular brand, and a change imminent here. Look, because 18 dives to the inside. That is Tanat Satrin-Tirankul, who runs out of real estate at the end of the straight. He was up and then behind Abu Ibrahim. So he made his dive, got ahead of the 888 Mercedes, but just could not get the car slowed down in time. So Tanat Satrin-Tirankul goes through, and good awareness by Abu Ibrahim. Saw him coming, assessed his speed, knew he wasn't going to make the corner, let him go, got the switchback, got up the inside, retook the place, and he's still 6th, and they climb the hill again out of last corner up towards the line. So Tanat Satrin-Tirankul drops back once more, comes over the line, now breaks the timing beam, goes through with 4.5 minutes still on the clock. So he's not done yet. There might be another opportunity to have a go at the car just ahead of him. Down the hill they wriggle once again, but see the way that Satrin-Tirankul, having made that mistake, lost time, and it's hard to get it back. Balance of performance in GT3 racing equates the pace of all the cars. It means that they run at a very, very similar pace, and it's hard to claw back lost time. Well, now in traffic, the time is being clawed back. They've got to get past the Ogura Audi. Tanat Satrin-Tirankul goes through, leading the Silvers in GT3. He's on the back then of the Pro-Am 888 Mercedes, so a class win beckons here for Satrin-Tirankul and co-driver Kennedy Kusiri. Did the opening stint in that car, did a good job, and Kusiri watches on as Satrin-Tirankul gets a little nearer to the back of Abu Ibrahim here. has gone on to lap 40, so doing in excess of the laps yesterday with no interruptions in today's race. They're going through now. We've had that change for third and fourth places because Hoshino has done it. He's managed from a long way back. I mean, looks as though he's fallen away to catch and pass Jeffrey Ibrahim. That shuffles Ibrahim back to fourth now in Pro-Am. So that's going to change things yet again as far as championships are concerned. It means that the advantage of Ibrahim is going to be just 1 point, along with Nick Foster. So it was 30 at the start of the weekend. It was 4 a couple of laps ago. It's now 1 point going to Akiyama. It sets up the last 2 races in the championship absolutely beautifully, doesn't it? So as the fight rages on here for second, third and fourth, Tomohiro Yamaguchi ahead of Satoshi Hoshino, ahead of Jeffrey Ibrahim. The clock ticks on down. Mercedes in fourth. I don't think he's going to be caught by Setiwan Santoso because he in turn is a further 6 seconds back, but Santoso is still pushing hard as in the traffic. Tomohiro Yamaguchi comes now out of last corner, makes that climb up the hill. Through the traffic goes Hoshino, through the traffic goes Ibrahim as Kimura breaks the beam. He's got time for 1 more lap at the end of this, I would offer you. There going through is Hoshino. So another podium beckons for the D station Aston Martin, and it's going to be a frustrating weekend all round for Triple Eight. It's been damage limitation really for number 99 Mercedes ever since the engine let go after Ibrahim had a moment to damage the sump and all the oil came out of it on Friday. That instantly cost them a lot of running, so track knowledge has been limited for Jeffrey Ibrahim. He's raced hard in this stint, admittedly, but fallen back into fourth place, and therefore that really puts them on the back foot as far as the championship is concerned, going to Akiyama. Yamaguchi, a little bit of a slide into turn 7. That brings Hoshino onto his tail. Second and third, BMW versus Aston Martin. Absolutely together with Ibrahim in the blue Mercedes coming back at them. 1 more lap to go at the end of this. Hoshino looks to the inside of the kink, can't do it. And now into horseback corner, goes deeper, has to cut across to make sure he can defend from Ibrahim. He's about to swing left where the Aston Martin has been quick all weekend here through SP1, SP2, through the first, through the second elements, and then you drop down the hill. This is a part of the circuit where quite a few people in other races have been making mistakes, running wide at the exit of the left, spinning across the road. No dramas here though, as Hoshino goes a little bit wide coming out of last corner, as onto the last lap goes Takeshi Kimura. Through he goes with 1 more lap to run. Second and third come through, and Ibrahim is off the road coming out of last corner. He's got it wrong, he's in the wall, he's going to rejoin, but that's going to cost him more places, more points, and the championship lead. And it was all self-induced, wasn't it? Because he got sideways, tried to correct it, bang, into the barrier. Dislodges the recticel barriers. He got away with that very, very lightly. He's just about been able to dig himself off the lawn, and if he's got enough luck, will continue. But that throws Ibrahim down the order. It rather negates the hard work from Nick Foster from early on. So what it means now is that second and third, and as Kimura got a problem because he's only 9 seconds ahead. I thought the gap looked less before we got excited about the Mercedes, which has not got going. He's stuck on the circuit, but Kimura has either backed off to consolidate the lead or has got a problem. It was 9 seconds at the start of the lap. It's 7.9 at the end of the first sector. He's being caught, and Ibrahim is trying to get going. He's reversed onto the road. He does get going. There's the leader, but Takeshi Kimura's advantage of something like 20-odd seconds has come right down. He's going to be okay for the win, but as he comes now up towards the timing line, you can see how slowly he's going. He has got a problem, I'm sure of it. Takeshi Kimura heads towards the line. The gap has been reduced and reduced and reduced. He flashes the lights in celebration, but there, Hoshino goes past him and Yamaguchi goes past him, and Hoshino wins on the line. I think Kimura backed right off too much because he was flashing the lights to celebrate. And that means that on the line, Satoshi Hoshino wins. He's got himself past the BMW on the last lap, and they've both jumped ahead of the Ferrari. So Kei Cozzolino's work comes to nothing after a very, very confused last couple of laps. But the net result is that Satoshi Hoshino takes the race win by 4/10 from the BMW of Tomohiro Yamaguchi, and Takeshi Kimura is third And I think he thought he was so far ahead that he could just crawl to the line. And if that was the plan, I think Bjorn Verdheim, Monaco Formula 3000 many, many years ago, it all went wrong. So, out of nowhere, Satoshi Hoshino takes the win. 2 laps ago, he was 4th, and suddenly he's the winner. Here's the replay. Look, he's flashing the lights at the team. Kimura thinking he's got the advantage. Look, Yamaguchi and Hoshino have just traded places coming up the hill. There's the checkered flag. Aston wins, BMW second, Ferrari third. Kimura, I'm sure of it, was backing off too much, and no question, he got mugged. Third at the line, and Cozzolino will be absolutely spitting tax with that. So Kimura, massively reduced pace. Well, if he did have a problem, at least he salvaged some points out of it. And Satoshi Hoshino does another lap because I don't think he saw the checkered flag. So busy was he battling with Tomohiro Yamaguchi. There it is for the second time. So Hoshino gets the flag. That's the winning car. And I think Amy's going to be busy talking to lots of drivers to try to unravel all of that, because that was quite a finish. Right, we'll go back to thinking about points in due course. First of all, Jeffrey Ibrahim 10th when he came across the line in number 99 Mercedes. Yamaguchi oh so close to a win. Kimura oh so close to a win. And in the end, Hoshino takes the victory. There he is. Didn't even see the checkered flag, so busy was he battling his way through traffic. What a way to end what has been a really, really good race. And Kei Cozzolino's hard work comes to nothing. Flashing his lights by way of celebration comes Takeshi Kimura. Maybe he also thought the finish line, the timing line, was closer to the brow of the hill. But there, Cozzolino says, "No, what have you done?" as he watches the traffic storm through, and Kimura is not going to be very popular. No question. This man is. Satoshi Hoshino has been a hero on the last lap. He wins the race. So, in GT3 overall and in Pro-Am, the order, Satoshi Hoshino and Tomonobu Fuji, the winners, from Saiji Ara and Tomohiro Yamaguchi, and then Kei Cozzolino and Takeshi Kimura, who led every lap except the last one. That's the order in Pro-Am. In GT3 Silver, that class won by Tanak Satarin Tirankul and by Kantadi Kusiri, second of the Silvers. Number 27 of Naoki Yokomitsu and co-driver Kyoto Fujinami. And they were the only 2 in the class. The GT3 AMS, that was won in the end by Hiroshi Hamaguchi and Mineki Ogura. Second of the AMS, number 7, the Honda, of Yorikatsu Sushiko and Yusuke Yamasaki. And the third AM was the number 2 McLaren of Tadao Uematsu and Yudai Uchida. GT4, which has Pro-Am and AM, well, the Silver Am part of the race was won by number 14. They were second GT4 overall, but Silver Am winners, and second was 33 of Hosokawa and Hatano. And of the AMs, just one finisher, and it was number 71, the outright GT4 winning car of Masayoshi Oyama and Masayuki Ueda. So, a rather surprised Satoshi Hoshino makes his way into the Parc Ferme area. Tomonobu Fuji is there to say well done. First win of the season, a win that came out of nowhere. The car pushed into the winner's arch by the technical team, and there is the Aston Martin that takes race honours in a very confused but very dramatic finish. The BMW by rights should have won, could have won, wasn't to be, and Takeshi Kimura has a case to answer here. Whether Amy is brave enough to go and interrogate, we will find out. But a massive lead ebbed away at the start of the last lap and disappeared at the end of it. So Hoshino and Fuji delighted with that. 61 years of age is Satoshi Hoshino, and still quick, still competitive. So helmets off. The winner's caps being presented, and Kei Cozzolino is there with Takeshi Kimura. So the drivers being called to the podium. Our winners being made ready for interview. And Satoshi Hoshino and Tomonobu Fuji win race 2 here at Sugo there with Amy.
Ready. And we have the winners of today's race 2. Tomonobu Fuji and Hoshino Satoshi. Oh my god. We never know what happens in the last second. So 最後の最後で優勝となりました。おめでとうございます。
いや諦めてたんですけど、もう最終コーナーにかけるしかないと思って、とりあえずアクセル踏んだらなんとか抜けました。
おめでとうございます。So yeah, I was actually thinking that we couldn't make it, but it was just the last bit, and he pushed full hard, and he did it, and he's very happy about it. 藤井選手、スタートの時はこうなると思ってましたか？
いや全然ね優勝は考えてなかったんで表彰台乗れたらラッキーかなと思ったんですけど、前2位集団がねすごく詰まってて、で星野選手が本当にいいペースで難しい中で、最後我々も見てなかったんですけど、いきなりねトップのフェラーリがトラブルかなんかでペースが落ちて、まさか BMW も抜いてきてもらったんで、こんな結末になると思ってなかった。嬉しいです。はい。
おめでとうございます。So at first we did not think that this would happen, but Hoshino-san, he really pushed hard and just made it. So we are really happy for this win today. Back to you, David.
Amy, thanks very much. Your next target is to go and find either Takeshi Kimura or Kei Cozzolino, because they've got some explaining to do. Certainly Kimura-san has. But a great job done by Satoshi Hoshino, and the drivers in a few moments' time will make their way on to the podium. And there'll be some happy faces, some rather less happy faces, I suspect, once we get the drivers up there. So the marshal's going to work, sweeping bits of tyre, bits of debris off the road. And let's confirm the way that the cars came across the line. Tomonobu Fuji and Satoshi Hoshino, the winners, by just under half a second from Tomohide Yamaguchi and Saiji Ara, Takeshi Kimura and Kei Cozzolino, who led all race bar the last lap, finished third. Jasmine Jafar and Abu Ibrahim fall for head of Canada Kusiri and Tanat Saturn Tirankul, with the car of Setiwan Santoso and Reid Harker, their Porsche, 6th. 7th, Mineki Okura and Hiroshi Hamaguchi to win the AM GT3 contest, ahead of the Honda of Yamasaki Yasushiko, Wakisaka and Nakanishi 9th, and then after his spin and accident into the wall, Jeffrey Ibrahim and Nick Foster coming home in 10th place. The GT4 winners, a little bit further down, 16th overall, the car of Masayoshi Ayama and Masayuki Ueda, the Toyota coming out on top. So from 22 seconds ahead with 2 laps to go to 3rd place. That's the story for Kimura. He lost 11 seconds on the penultimate lap and then lost the remaining, whatever it was, 9 and 2 places on that last lap. But equally, the way that he was coming up the hill made me think he had a problem. The way he was flashing his lights suggested he thought he was already the winner and was celebrating. Anyway, we'll try and unravel it all in due course. This was a look back at what turned out to be a really lively race, but Kei Cozzolino dominated the first stint. He was away and gone, 3 seconds clear by the end of the first lap alone. Good battles lower down. Reid Harker fending off Tomonobu Fuji. They in turn were able to get back onto terms by the end of the stint with Saiji Ara. An early puncture for number 4 Mercedes. That car eventually was a retirement. We also lost number 91 of David Punn. But as the Mercedes battled on, hobbled, so the traffic battled past. This good fight between Kyoto Fujinami and Jasmine Jafar and Nick Foster trying to clear the GT4 cars, and as they did so, that gave us a change of lead in the GT4 class. Shinya Hosokawa getting himself through. Brian Lee took over number 14. Yasuoka's stint interrupted by a drive-through penalty. It was off into the gravel, went the Tanat Saturn Tirankul and Canada Kusiri Porsche. Kei Cozzolino came in right at the end of the window. He could have had no more time in the car. He built up a massive advantage for Takeshi Kimura to consolidate. The plan was working. For 2nd, 3rd and 4th, good battle between Yamaguchi, between Jeffrey Ibrahim and Hoshino, and these 3 ran together for the bulk of the 2nd stint. Yamaguchi got 2nd, made a mistake, slithered out wide, and good racecraft by Jeffrey Ibrahim put him back on the inside and back into 2nd place. Hoshino was there or thereabouts, always looking for a way by. But Ibrahim looked as though he might have got the measure of the other two. The Mercedes looked a little bit more planted in second place, but Yamaguchi was not done yet. Through the traffic they came once more, and then there was this drama for the number 21 Audi of Masahiro Ogura. Drama also for Yokomitsu as he was tagged into a spin. Around he went, and a buckled wheel brought that car into the pit lane. Then a big send up the inside there by Satrin Tirankul to get ahead of Abu Ibrahim. He went through, went wide, and fell back behind the Mercedes. And that was the order in which they would stay. Finally, Hoshino able to make his move against Gt4 Ibrahim, and he went through on the inside. That gave him third place. The cars dived into turn one, although Ibrahim came back at him, but it wasn't to be. Then the pair of them closed on the BMW of Yamaguchi, and Ibrahim made a slight mistake coming out of last corner, tried to correct it, but it sent the car off towards the barrier. It bounced off the wall as Kimura, celebrating early, came to the line, and the traffic flooded past. The Car Guy Racing team astonished that a secure, a virtual certain win had disappeared. That meant Satoshi Hoshino and Tomonobu Fuji took the race win. So the Yogibo beanbags are there, the drivers are ready and are going to be called forward now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony for race 2.
So the podium is ready and the trophies are there. The drivers will be brought forward in their respective classes, with the GT3 overall and also the Pro-Am podium first, the top three overall being Pro-Am drivers. So for third place, out come Takeshi Kimura and Kei Cozzolino. Then for second place, we have Saiji Ara and Tomohiro Yamaguchi. And race winners, a race win that came out of absolutely nowhere for Tomonobu Fuji and Satoshi Hoshino. For the D-Station Racing team, the honours go, and now the trophies and then the champagne. For the drivers, Masahiko Ida, founder of Dixel, another supporter of the championship, will present the trophies there to a smiling Kei Cozzolino, but that's not the result he must have expected 2 laps from home. Then the trophies to the second place drivers, Tomohiro Yamaguchi, and to Saiji Ara. And then to Satoshi Hoshino and Tomonobu Fuji, the race winners' trophies. So the drivers ready then for the group photograph. Trophies held in the air, and now the drivers are ready with the champagne. Kei Cozzolino is the first one to celebrate. And Satoshi Hoshino, who was involved at the end of the second Suzuka race in quite a nasty accident at the top of the circuit, all smiles, as also is Tomonobu Fuji. But a great stint by Hoshino, that. And provisional points calculations now would suggest that after finishing 3rd and 10th, the Car Guy and Triple Eight teams are going to be tied on points going to Okayama. We'll confirm that in due course as the drivers step from the podium, but it certainly wasn't the outcome that Car Guy Racing was expecting. There are the beanbags for Tomonobu Fuji and Satoshi Hoshino. And as they collapse into the beanbags and hold up one finger to say P1, and also a first win of the season for the Aston Martin drivers, a very well-deserved result. And good variety as well, not seeing the same teams winning race after race after race. So great stuff in our second race of the weekend in Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia, powered by AWS. So the drivers then make their way from the podium, and the next one is going to bring drivers out for subsequent classes. So, a very dramatic weekend, not only in terms of racing on track, but also in terms of how that will affect the championship going to Okayama, with provisionally the Car Guy Racing and Triple Eight drivers who were 30 points apart, leaving Sugo tied on points. It could not be closer than that with 2 races to go. A first win of the championship for Hoshino and Fuji. From all of us here, it's goodbye. Let's go back to the podium where the AM podium is being completed. We have the third place drivers Yuna Yoshida and Tado Uematsu, flanked by Yusuke Yamasaki and Yorikatsu Sujiko for second, and the class winners Hiroshi Hamaguchi and Mineki Okura are about to receive their trophies from Masahiko Ida, the Dixel founder. So with GT3 overall being the same as Pro-Am, we move straight to the AM podium, and there the trophies are ready for the drivers. Hiroshi Hamaguchi, who was rather frustrated yesterday after dramas in qualifying and Mineki Okura not going out into qualifying at all. For Q2, they come through for the back of the GT3 grid to win their class, which is a good result. So, all the drivers then, the trophies held aloft, and there is, of course, champagne awaiting them at the end of this second race of the weekend in Fanatec GT. Great stuff from Hiroshi Hamaguchi that we rather miss from European racing at the moment. Hopefully he'll come back, and one would also expect him to be on the grid for the FIA Motorsport Games, which comes up in October at Paul Ricard. So Hiroshi Hamaguchi and Mineki Okura come out on top. They clink of the bottles, and with the champagne in their eyes, the drivers now make their way back to their teams. So the podium is about to be prepared again. This time we move to GT4. The drivers for that will be getting set in a few moments' time. GT4 may be relatively small on numbers, but still giving very, very good racing, as we've been privy to all weekend. So, for the Silver Am podium, out should come, first of all, Shinya Hosokawa and his co-driver Hiroaki Hatano. The second, wrong step. And then for the top step, Brian Lee and Hideto Yasuoka. Winners yesterday outright, winners of their class today, and coming to the top step of the podium. So an excellent job done by the Mercedes drivers, with the exception of Hideto Yasuoka's indiscretion, copying that penalty she did in the second race, needing that drive through penalty. So the AM podium comes next. Champagne is sprayed, first of all. The drivers saturated but happy, and the team owner Hiroaki Hatano, along with the very rapid and very experienced Shinya Hosokawa, taking second place in the class, winners already this year. So one more podium, and it is the winning AM, because we only had one finisher, and that should therefore be Masayoshi Oyama and Masayuki Ueda, who will come to the podium as the AM class winners. And there they are, the champagne prepared for them. And they, by my reckoning, will also win the AM class in the championship. So take their masks off once they're on the podium, ready for the celebrations. And again, Masahiko Ida hands over the trophies, and a very happy Masayoshi Oyama and Masayuki Ueda are victorious here in GT4 AM, a win for the Toyota GL Supra of Akiland Racing. Champagne now being made ready for the drivers. So well done to Masayoshi Oyama and to Masayuki Ueda as the winning drivers in the GT4 AM contest. So it's been a dramatic race, a certainly dramatic end, full of surprises, and it sets the championship up very nicely for the two remaining races to be held in Okayama at the end of September. And with the first victory of the season for the Aston Martin, and drama for both of the championship protagonists late race. Okayama next is going to be the scene not only of the championship showdown, of a few scores to be settled, but also of two more excellent races in Fanatec GT World Challenge Asia. So, races 9 and 10 at the end of September. Championships to be decided, both in Fanatec GT and the Japan Cup. It promises to be a weekend not to be missed. More action to come then in a month's time. But for now, from Sugo, from David Anderson and Amy Izao, thanks for your company this weekend. It's goodbye from Northern Japan.